यार जियो को हो गया नहीं
ये तो एयरटेल से
एयरटेल है जियो में है बोलते हैं जियो है ठीक है ना
Ridip Das sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. You are audible, sir.
Video too.
Yes, clear, very clear.
Video clear.
Just a second, 1 second. Good evening, Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan, sir. Sir, can you hear me, sir? Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan, sir. Sir, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself. Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Pranjal Kumar Phukan, sir. Sir, can you hear me, sir, now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Principal sir,
Yes,
can you hear me, sir?
yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
অকমান ৰৈ দিব লাগিলে বাহিৰত তহঁতি 5 মিনিট কথা পাতি ল'ম তাৰপিছত গৈ পেলাই কৰিলেও হ'ব ইনাগুৰেশ্যনটো মই কৰি দিম হ'ব নাই তই লাগিলে অকমান দেৰি আমি কেনেকৈ জানিম মই মাতি দিম তেতিয়া এনেকে সিগনেল দি মোৰতো মোবাইলত পইচা মানে এইটো তোৰটো নাই কৰা এইটো তোৰটো জানো এইটো মোৰ কিবা
Pradeep Das sir, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Still 1 minute left, sir. After 1 minute, we can start.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Virender.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Very properly. Very clear.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Pradeep Das sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We can start.
Okay, thank you. Hello, a very good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Kaliabor College fraternity, I welcome you all to today's webinar, that is, Navigating the Roads to Financial Recovery Post-COVID. In the recent past, the global economy has been facing some crises that were not predicted before. But somehow we have to recover from this situation. We must overcome the challenges. To highlight on the issue, we have with us Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan as a speaker in this today's webinar. Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan is an accomplished management professional with over 23 years of experience in supply chain management and operation management with some of the leading companies in India. More than his role as a reputed supply chain professional, he is also an avid case writer, author, blogger, columnist, keynote speaker, and expert panel speaker. He has received many awards both in national and international platforms, including the prestigious Peter Drucker Award from the University of Swahili, Panama. Besides writing a number of articles in various national as well as international journals, he has also authored a book titled Limits of Infinity on Philosophy and Science. Dr. Phukan has notable contribution towards entrepreneurship development, motivating youth towards sustainable business and guiding them in project funding and market availability. Before we proceed further, I would like to request our principal, Honorable Kumar sir, to say a few words and inaugurate today's proceedings. Over to Saliha sir.
Just 1 second, sir. Yes, sir. Principal, sir, please unmute yourself. Yes, sir.
Good evening to everyone. I, on behalf of Kaliabor College, welcome you all. Uh, 329 participants have registered. However, it is not evident that now might be coming. We have organized a lot of webinars, and this is one of the most important webinar on the road to recovery of the financial system. And as you know, Kaliabor College, it is a A-graded college in Assam, Nagaon district, Kumar. And we have also started PG Department of Commerce in 2015. So this department has organized this webinar. And Dr. Pranjal Phukan is known to me for last 1 year. And he's very dynamic and very highly interesting and highly energetic person. He always encourages, lastly, he's always encouraging the youth and teachers and others for entrepreneurship development. And he's organizing a lot of webinars in the last 1 month on different issues. And you know, the financial system in India, it is worse hit after demonetization and due to introduction of GST. It is already in downstream. And then now due to COVID, it has gone to the latest from top to bottom. Everyone is very, they are very excited, very conscious about the what will happen after the COVID will end. And then from this finance minister, from the prime minister, and from to the labor also, they are very much conscious about the problem. So for this purpose, we have today with us a distinguished speaker, Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan. He's very, he has a lot of experience in this system. So I also welcome him, and I also extend my gratefulness to him to give us such opportunity. So with this, I welcome you all and say that this webinar is being inaugurated. Thank you.
Dept, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, without delaying much, I would like to request our research person for today, Dr. Pranjal Phukan, sir, to share his valuable perceptions with us in the topic. Over to Phukan, sir.
Yes. Just a second. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good evening to all, and especially thanks to Principal Sir. As I'm in touch with him for the last more than 6 months, when Dharmendra Nath Sir of SD Deora College invited me to one program in Dibru College in Dibrugarh as part of ACTC, and I found Principal Sir a very dynamic person, and actually I always strive to have a good conversation with like-minded people who understands apart from the daily activities, and as you know, due to COVID situation, the education system has faced a tremendous pressure, because now after doctors, the faculties and educational institutions has to play a very big role in coping with this situation, as we know that most of our affected portion of society are our youngsters. They have some upskilling. They need to have to be trained, motivated, so no untoward happenings happens uh, in our country. And with this, actually, I want to have a very brief outline about the situation, what is happening in the economic parlance across the country. It is actually happening globally. I want to share my slide. So can I share my slide now?
Sir, yes, sir.
So our topic is navigating the road to financial recovery post-COVID. In the first slide itself, I'm showing what is said by the United Nations very recently, that there will be no return to the old normal. Now a new word has come into picture, normal. Next normal, new normal, second normal, something like. So there is no returning back to the old normal, and all government must have to create a new economy and more jobs, because now there is a chance, there is an opportunity for all of us to have a new economy in place, and we have to think in that way, because the last seminar I was discussing on think global act local. So we have to take the participation of the local people, local entrepreneurs, so that we can have a better economy and the local factor. It is just I have these membership and fellowships. So with this, I'm trying to gather all the details for you, so that we can have very comprehensive. So we can have very comprehensive discussion on the subject. Now coming to the point, these are some of the tidbits which I have just collected from the various way, like organizations are trying to navigate very significantly, very impactfully with the decisions which needs to be very quick, and there is no more case of isolation, but we are working in isolation now, so we have to uncover what every not-for-profit should do to adopt and stay ahead of the curve. Which curve means that is the financial recovery or financial curve, because the main impact is going on society related to the impact on economy. So you have seen that there are a number of promotional activities being done by the government of India, like Atmanirbhar and all these things, just to stay ahead of the curve. And we know that companies are struggling to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic, and industries are just restarting. Some industries are just restarting. Some industries are not yet started because of many issues. So this webinar is specifically focused on how the companies can understand. Here companies includes the institutions also, education institutions also, because now no one is different, all on the same parlance. So they have to understand and implement what are the value-added actions which will help them to improve their cash flow and operations rapidly. So here, how people should empower themselves. Here, people means all people, professionals, faculties, students, homemakers, anyone, any sector of the society should empower themselves now with enhanced skills and knowledge, so that they can meet their daily challenges, the challenges of the company, challenges of the institutions, challenges of the household activity, challenges of every individual. Some of the example you have seen, like last few days back, one of the noted actor has committed suicide. So this is in part, this is intended to that particular way. So we have to empower that yourself. He didn't make that for the skill and knowledge, but he made up these things because he couldn't find the value chain available in this particular COVID situation, where he found himself very vacuumed. So that things should not come, and that things doesn't come when you are learning in upskilling. In the time when many organizations are reducing quarterly goals and struggling to keep revenue flat, it's rare for a business to uncover new opportunities and growth pipelines. So worse still, overburdened sales team often lack the time and resources to work every lead. It is not the situation which is pre-COVID. Means earlier in the pre-COVID situation, the things were different. But now we have to not to work different way, but we have to work differently, so that we can cope with the situations to maintain our existence, maintain our sustenance. So one more line I have just added here. There is a tide in the affairs of man, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. And also I want to quote one very known couplet, Urdu couplet, that it is being said that मुसाफिर सर पर कश्ती लिए हुए मुसाफिर चल पड़ा है, शायद कहीं दरिया आगे मिले. It means we are still in the hope that the kasti means the whole operation, so whole burden or whole thing we are taking on our head, in anticipation that something will come in front of us which will give us, which can lead us to some fortune. So COVID-19 has continued to a far-reaching effect on people's life. You must be knowing this very well. Everywhere you are learning this, everywhere you're hearing this in newspapers and everything. So just again repetition of the things. So communities, amid the bleak economic reality, my company in response are focusing on driving a dual agenda. What is the dual agenda? First agenda, how to protect the lives and livelihoods. And as the crisis continues to upend lives, companies are struggling to understand its full impact on the business. Means first thing is that on humanity ground, companies are looking for how to protect the life and livelihoods. But continuing with this first agenda, they have again struggling to understand what will be the impact of this protecting lives and livelihoods on their businesses and how best to respond fast, quick, because there is no time available with us in this COVID situation or post-COVID situations. There is no slow progress is intended, is not allowed also. You have to be very quick in your decision making, you have to be very quick, you have to be agile basically in your business objectives. Now, most important thing, I think you have heard about this V-shape, U-shape, L-shape, W-shape. Indian economy is supposed to be acting on W-shape, but the question is arising in everywhere, all economists across the globe, that what will be the recovery look like post-COVID or recession, after recession. So in Kearney's research, the 3 points are being found out, which are very possible, very experimental, that there will be 3 types of shapes will be there. One is V-shape, which is pointing to quick recovery. There may be a U-shape, 2020 is gone, but it will be fine, and L-shape, indicating 18 months of downturn and recession. So in that way, they are focusing on 3 types of shapes: V-shape, U-shape, L-shape. If you see the screen, it is the source from JP Morgan. You will find that the story count on V-shape recovery is on the upper side. COVID-19 is an extreme right in 2020. It is showing that your V-shape recovery is going to be impacting most of these financial service sectors, and that on the U-shape, it is on the lower side. So they are basically discussing and putting their viewpoints on 2 only, that is V and U. And L-shape is obviously is a indicating factor, but in Asia Pacific, especially India, it is a W-shape. So whereby we will be recovering very faster than any other economies in the globe, which I'll be showing later in the other slides. If you see the global growth, it is a forecast made for the COVID-19 on large downgrades to global GDP and trade growth in 2020. So what is happening here globally? If you see the graph, the percentage change year after year. There are 3 parameters are taken: March forecast, December forecast, and downside scenario, that is a very light one. So globally, collapses in equity markets are sparking a sharp tightening in financial conditions that may further accentuate and extends the downturn, potentially exposing financial vulnerabilities among business and households. So this is the forecast for global. It is not specific to a particular sector or economy or country. It is globally being forecasted based on some parameters. It is being found that if you see the December forecast, it is more or less flat. It is more or less flat. If you see from 2010 onwards to beyond 2022, it is flat. But if you see the red one, the December forecast, it is flat. But if you see the March forecast, it is going down in 2020, but again moving very fast in V-shape. That is beyond in between 21 22. So that's why I'm saying that the whole of the economy or financial sector is more or less likely to happen in the V-shape as per this forecasting. But I will show you why India will be W. If you see the sectoral impact globally, these are all global forecasts, not particular to any country or anything. Here, see the sectors mostly are the automobiles, textile, electronics. That is headline manufacturing, means manufacturing is impacting the industries, and aerospace and transport. If you see that 2021, all sectors are again rebounding back. They are coming back to their original, though maybe slow. But if you see the quarter 4 or 3 and 4 H2 2020, it will be down. So it is expecting a drop sector-wise. Maximum drop will be in automobile, and the minimum drop will be like mostly in the headline manufacturing and aerospace as compared with Q4 2019 year to year. This slide is showing that global manufacturing rebound, how it is happening. See, all are V-shaped. See, China again rebounding back in 2021. Asia Pacific excluding China, that is fourth from top, means excluding China, including India and other countries, they are also the same process. So all economies, all countries, big countries, economically sound countries, or developed countries and developing countries, they are rebounding back in V-shaped. If you compare with 2019 year on year with 2020 and 2021. Now the most important thing, actually I tried to put in the presentation minimum words and minimum statements, because it will be making the participants feel very boring, because the subject is such. So I try to put maximum graphs graphically. I want to show it so that at least after this, because this presentation cannot cover the whole thing. It is a very huge subject. And as the principals has already told, I am actually science graduate. So obviously, if I go to nitty-gritty of commerce and economics, so I won't be that perfect to make you understand the basic parameters and the calculation method. So what I try is to just to match with the present economic understanding of the global process in the COVID situation, so that we can match up with our understanding in line with the humanity subject like management, for the science, for the other subjects, so that it can come up and give us a very good platform to understand and continue our learning process in this, so that minimum impact can be ascertained while operating a business or while operating an economy. So now the main thing is, what are the questions which are coming to Chief Executive Officer's mind at this moment? Because the CEO of any company or any institution or any organization is finally answerable to his shareholders or stakeholders, and the answerable point parameters are only the economy and return on investments and how much we are earning after operations. So the first question is coming in all minds of all people is, how long will this last? Second, while possible scenarios range from quick recovery to prolonged chaos, there are 5 key levers which are available with us at the moment, so that we can outmaneuver or we can work out to face this uncertainty. Like we have to manage liquidity, we have to think on financing and credit, we have to eliminate or reduce cost with circular economy again. We have to get the government aid programs, or we have to convince and insist such programs available. Government has already pushed so much of money through Atmanirbhar and all these schemes. And finally, this is portfolio management. You have to manage your portfolio in such a way that now this portfolio is different from the pre-COVID situations. So you have to be very agile. You have to be fast thinker, fast decision-making process, so that your portfolio, your core values remain same, but your additional values should be in line with the present situation, so that you can manage all the 3 things on top. That is liquidity management, financing, eliminating or reducing costs in your operations or your activities. Now, how to generate cash and liquidity at this moment? I've taken a few very specific and which is affecting all the sectors. The first one is take liquidity control tower to the next level. See, nowadays you'll be hearing very different type of words which can be called as gimmicks in the management parlance, like control towers. Previously, these control towers was basically used in engineering or science, like we are using this digitization process in like controlling towers in SCADA, supervisory controls, electronics. But now this has come to the management parlance also. So now you have to take your liquidity control through control towers. So what is this? most organizations have a financial control tower, means they are centralized. They are controlling all the financial activities, but lacking the real-time visibility pre-COVID. It's we have time. At the time we were having time to understand this, so we have time to analyze this. But now we have no time, so we need some real-time visibility and understanding into the liquidity positions of the organizations on maybe day-to-day basis, maybe the hourly basis, something like, so that tracks should not get derailed. And due to this, this should have a very synchronized, real-time visibility, understanding, controlling. Few, if any, you can use analytics and behavioral models also. So what I'm asking is now there will be merger of many domains of education, or some many domains of our knowledge into each other. And like finance will be not finance, engineering will not be engineering, your basic sciences will not be basic science, or your other like geography, history won't be like that. It will be mixing up with the domains now. And one thing is very clear from this thing, that digitization is the final platform or answer, or you can say is a panacea for solutions to all problems in any domains in any sector. So that's I'm using this, using analytics and behavioral modeling to predict what liquidity will look like based on business decisions. So whatever decisions the CEO or other officers or other members of the organizations are taking, they have to go into particular things very clearly, that they have to be analytical, and they are using the behavioral modeling. Again, I am repeating this, the four Qs, that is the IQ, intelligent quotient, then comes EQ, emotional quotient, then comes SQ, spiritual quotient, then finally new quotient has come out, that is people quotient, means behavioral modeling, how you are dealing with your employees, how you are dealing with the society, means whatever you are taking, you have, whether you are giving back it or not. So this modeling will be very important, the behavioral modeling of your employees in and out, and outside also the societies. And finance should take full and centralized control, which I've already repeated earlier, tower system, of all the liquidity decisions supported by cash management analytic solutions, which will be provided only by when we go for digitization. Second one is modeling and optimizing working capital. How? Now, working with the business and leveraging data. Now, at this moment, data is very important for sustenance. We are hearing this word big data for a long time. Now, the time has come where you have to really leverage data in whatever situation and whatever position is having. The liquidity control tower then can only work on this model, how to go for the working capital pain points, or the pain points. Earlier, we also know the pain points remains the same, but how to leverage this data to minimize these pain points and to keep the key actions with you, so that you can generate cash. So in this, again, we are again asking for the predictive analytics, which are the tools available nowadays. Lots of tools have come out due to digitization, which can help to take a proactively you can identify and monitor your outgoes and incoming also through invoices, means inbound and outbound cash flow with a highly likelihood of rejection and disputes. So you have to monitor that your liquidity situation should be maintained and your rejection and disputes should be minimal, because at this moment situation is changing every day. So you have to have a very strong predictive analytics with you, process with you. Same way, you can increase the visibility and control, can also ensure the right discounts are being applied in the accounts, which you have to again maintain the right discount, because business situation, as sir has told, it is totally gone disarray. So you don't know, your consumers also, consumer behavior has changed. So whatever they are consuming earlier, they might not be consuming now. So that way the discount system should also be in such a way that your products should be, your services should be available, sustained in the market. Now, second one is review your capital expenses portfolio. CapEx means capital expense. One is operating expense, one is capital expense. I'm speaking here only for the capital, because operating expenses obviously you are outsourced. It's the outsourcing process, but capital expense is yours. So that portfolio and governance, the liquidity tower, control tower can help you to better manage your capex. At this moment, I think agile system shows that capex expenses should be optimized. It should not be in a huge manner as done earlier, because this will be again a bottleneck for your agility. And in that way, how you managing capex by ensuring better capital allocation decisions. See, now you have to. This word is very important now. Smart working. So now contactless servitizations, contactless operations, contactless your controlling of liquidity, cash flows, contactless your allocation decisions making, working from home, because you won't find people sitting all around you for the whole day for a meeting. Now you have to do all through your control towers to digitization, so that you can have a better allocation decisions, real-time decisions, practical decisions, and also to improve your certainty on in and outflows, which I've already said. Your inflows and outflows is very important. And this tower can provide you insights to challenges. I don't know. There are lots of challenges which cannot be predicted yet. Some are predicted based on the artificial intelligence and big data. But still, there are many pockets are there, many data's non-availabilities there, which creating some bottleneck in organizing this real-time correct predictions specific to a sector. Here, as I'm speaking to education institutions, so my sector specifically pertains to your education institutions and also the students. There are two types of students are there in institution, every institution. One is academically inclined, going for faculties, and again going for that particular area, like doing research. And some students are, after completion of the course, will go for entrepreneurship, starting a business, and is very much required at this moment now. So in both the cases, that the prediction challenge is obviously there. You are getting your prediction challenges on your higher education also. Time to time, many things are coming up, like you should go for embedded learning, you should go for mix of offline, online. So I don't know how things will be happening in future. Many of the global universities have started emerging with a word called what you call sharing of resources. That is so that they can have the resource sharing with the other institutions, so that they can at least the skills and knowledge and expertise of one universities can be transferred to other. Based on it will also create some revenue, sustain their position in the market as a leading institution. So these things also can be done with institutions. Like webinars, if you can manage these webinars in such a way, it is a very good time for the students, apart from their course curriculum. If they get some industry inputs, like I'm giving one input today, some other will come and give the input tomorrow, practical inputs. So at least this will give some your data analysis, so that you can also make some predictions based on your assumptions with some scientific tools to get on the how much returns we can have, how much paybacks, how much we can provide, so that this decision making before investment can be made. I'll show you one analysis made by Altman Jet Score. It is conducted basically by a global firm called Accenture. They were previously into this BPO, KPO, and all these things, but when the COVID comes, they actually, I can say in Hindi that Chandi ho gaya. They are getting lots and lots of revenues from this type of analysis, and they have found very seriously that S&P 500 companies globally, 200 companies were in distress zone. Out of global 500 top companies, 200 companies are distress zone. So what does the distress zone suggest? It suggests a considerable risk of many companies to go out of the market because of bankruptcy. Means they will not be available in the market in future, because not because they are not good players, not because they don't have the expertise or knowledge, not because they don't have the big data analysis or tools. They have not somebody to invest, but still they'll be out of the market because bankruptcy means on time, real time. They fail to take the decisions of in and out cash. So in safe zone, you see what are the differences. See, in March 2019, year to year, it dropped down to 174. In gray zone, this range is basically the range with they have. It is the it is a mathematical range they have calculated with some sample study. And gray zone companies have come up like 104 has gone up to 116, it is a plus. And distress zone, if you see, the lots of companies have moved to distress zone. 160 companies were earlier in 2019, now it has gone to 210. In 50 plus jump in distress zone, gray zone they have jumped 12 plus, in safe zone it has reduced by 62. Means it is a very, very dangerous figure which I am showing to you. And you can just understand, these are the big companies, so what is the situation of the small companies, micro, small, medium enterprises in India? I don't know. There must have been some study. Based on that, maybe the Honorable Finance Minister is taking decisions, but these are all temporary decisions. We cannot make these things happen for a long time. It's a spoon feeding or hand holding. Now, sustenance is the main thing. Whosoever is fittest will survive. So now, second slide is like how to drive ongoing culture and behavioral change. And this is the very right time for the people who are really smart. I think you must be knowing the detail of this acronym SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timeline. So it is very right opportunity for the smart organizations, smart employees, smart people to drive a broader ownership culture. Broader ownership culture means think global, act local. Means you have to think globally, because whole thing is not different globally. It is same everywhere, may it be underdeveloped, developed, or developing countries. So it is a time to have a ownership. Not like I'm very simply saying, not ownership of like Assam. You have to take ownership of whole Northeast. If you have to take ownership of whole India, maybe it's ASEAN countries, Asia specific. So you have to have very broad ownership now, because the cost of the organization to mobilize, so they can help to mobilize the broader organization around ideas. See, now we are playing with the ideas now. Only thing is idea. Necessity is the mother of invention. So ideation is happening very fast. So if you go just sit for 1 hour, I think, in any one of the, if you search Google and just type COVID, you will get lots of things are coming up. Like I'm getting lots of emails from ETCIO, S&P, SAP, many things, very good things are given, very good assumptions, predictions, but I must tell you, none of the assumptions and predictions are real. That is the challenge we are facing, because the data is missing, because we are not prepared for this particular crisis. Otherwise, we would have made a very good data collections to proceed further. That's the same problem is faced by the government also. That's why they are asking all the industry bodies like CII, FINER, ICC, and all big organizations to just give their data, whatever data they have proceeded earlier, pre-COVID. And one more thing, in this cultural change, behavioral change, you will getting one very additional savings that is going to happen year after year, which will fuel your growth. See, here fueling your growth is important, not to sustain financially or economically, but your that things are required, because you have to also sustain socially. And now spiritual question is coming into picture. Now people will ask one thing, that your company is there, what this company is doing for us in these COVID situations. So you can say that I am continuing my commodity services to you, but that is not the question. Like how much emotionally you are attached as an organization, which is already there in our company rules like CSR. That was very much fixed, that that percentage of 10% of your annual income should be in CSR. That is mandatory, but now it is not mandatory. It is voluntary. So whosoever is in this particular arena, he will gain more grounds than others who will not in this. So that's why I think many companies, S&P, big companies, are now in the distress zone. Now, how to rethink? How to now you have to rethink how things could and should be done. Now, I have said so many things. Now, your first question has come to you that you have told all the big things. How to go about it? The first thing is like how your real-time cash, which I told you earlier, that the control towers, how the real-time cash forecasting can be made in your traditional account books or your traditional accounting systems. So first thing I have told you that, I'm giving you an example of BCPL. Like we are a very hazardous company, very chemically hazardous company, but we have many units which is very remote located. So we are controlling it through some electronic system, that is direct control system or PLC, pre-programmed logic control, or the advanced stages SCADA, supervisory control. Now these things has come to you, to financial sector also, that you should have this very centralized control tower, which needs to have very online access on a real time to near real time. See, the word is near real time. I'm not saying, I cannot say, I think in this particular sector of finance, because engineering is science is different because it's based on data already. But finance sector is also based on data, but data are disarrayed. It is disarrayed. There are different types of data, complexities are there. One data cannot catch up with other data. Many complex equations has come up in the picture. So I'm saying near real data for timely cash position, as well as modeling the how you can model your analytical ability. Individual human ability means HMI, human machine interaction, means human and the technology interactions, so that you can have to have a very you can simulate. Means what is simulation? Is an experiential method. Normally simulations are done in all design system to simulate with the real time or real behavior of the demography. That way you can simulate before putting it into practice on ground for cash forecasting. And this also requires input from the corporate, like it should be now top-down decisions. Previously also it is for top-down, but now it is both-way decision, has to be a top-down and bottom-up, or realistic data, realistic analysis on business lines, which have to be captured in the driver-based cash forecasting model. Driver-based cash forecasting model is basically digitization of your present activity, so that we can have a control like driver controls through some devices, which can be played on any operating system like cloud-based, or it can be SaaS, like a software as service, or any application or handheld applications like things. So here can be a driver-based. Now, most important thing every time I'm saying is digitization. So digitization is the only thing that has cropped up, which can, I think, is useful at this moment, because this will help you to at least make a analytical report on the complexity. Complex means data, lots of data that there, so has to be complexities, because all data are derived in a very different manner. All are not derived in a linear manner. So that's why the complexity has to be there. So that complexities can be solved with the use of technology. They can adopt this human machine interface augmented solution. I told you, now we have now already we have, because now I'm talking with you. So I'm HMI, I'm human. In between you and me, there's a machine. So that is HMI, human machine interaction. See how the machine is interacting with me. That due to reasons I am interacting with you on real time. So it is a real things, which is very small example, which you can help you to understand these liquidity control towers, like how between you and your decisions, that machine is interacting with you, so that whatever you are analyzing or what you are finding it realistic has to be augmented by this machine for further and betterment of the analysis for your decision making. So these can be powered by techniques such as data, analytical, artificial intelligence, dialogue management, fuzzy matching, reasoning, and these solutions will provide close and continuous monitoring, which can lead to better visibility. Now, only thing is like we all are in chaos now, like we are on the big ocean, which is full of like storms and disturbance. The only control is like we can have with the satellites for our direction movement. We can have our control with the satellites for the weather monitoring, your speed, your safety of the people in the ship. So that's the thing, like everyone is now a ship. The family is also a ship. Now how are we maneuvering? So I'm very sorry to say that we have lost, we have our 12 crores people in India have lost their job and career. So now their ship is in distress. So in that situation, how government, how policymakers, how industries, how people, how organizations can help to cope with these situations. Now coming to the third point, like what should be your end-to-end investments and returns? So you are investing, you have to invest. Now where to invest is most important thing, so that your returns are there and your visibility of from end to end, like visibility from investment to return has to be there. So control towers will help you to view end-to-end performance across the value chain from marketing, availability of integrated data, which can help your chief financial officers to initiate ongoing evaluation of investment, revisit the returns of the committed projects pre-COVID, whether that can be sustainable for COVID and post-COVID, and resource, and again reassess. You have to reassess all your allocations with sustained cash returns models so that your portfolio remains profitable. Now here, the most important thing is how you are owning the ecosystem. Whosoever is owning the ecosystem obviously will sustain. Whosoever will ignore the ecosystem, I think there is no way out for him or her. So a successful portfolio management of any individuals or any organization, any institution should reflect the changes in the company's or personal or individual risk appetite, how much risk you are ready to take, as well as the changes in the ecosystem potential growth area, because there will be number of sectors, number of growth areas will be happening which we have never predicted, which we have never thought of. So in this control towers, actually, you can have a very transparent investment analysis, which are based on reliable data. Now, data you have to understand what type of data you need, because system cannot understand, because that they are not so much intelligent as human beings. So that's why HMI is there. So you have to find out what type of data you need, which are reliable. You can use the standard stable analytical tools which are available previously, also now also more advanced now, which can help you to balance you back your returns and linking company finance programs with clients and vendors value chain. So value chain is already there. So now you have to again reassess all your portfolios on in line with the value chains. So this slide is showing how there are 4 steps, basic 4 steps globally. I cannot say accepted or certified, but globally they are saying that there are 4 steps which is seen mostly for all sectors and countries that for business resilience. The first one is obviously the put people first. That is the very much important thing. Whether you are any type of sector, any type of services or goods, your people safety is first priority. That is your people quotient. Then how you are communicating with the stakeholders. That's your spiritual quotient. Then resetting your strategy to maintain business continuity. That is your emotional. That is specifically IQ, intelligent quotient. And the 4th one is build resilience and prepare for recovery. So this is IQ and EQ both. So emotionally, you have to build your resilience and prepare for the recovery. If I go by point, first point, like in people, put people safety first, you have to initiate and expand your flexible work arrangements like work from home already happening, providing infection protections for your employees and your society. Secondly, you have to issue regular transparent communications in line with the government guidelines, so that you are gaining or aligning with the guidelines to cope up with these situations for not only for employees but for your society also. And how you are communicating with stakeholders, like your stakeholders, your students, your industries, or education institution. I'm saying. So how you are keeping a customer, means your industries, because finally the students will go to either to industries or to other education system for higher studies or for job. So how you are keeping your customer appraised of the impacts to products, means how much you are appraising them that your products, your services going out of the institutions are in line with the global practices as per the COVID situation. How you are keeping or developing communication plans, stay in contact with the suppliers, review terms and conditions on loans and contracts, and consult legal team for any advice on potential liabilities which may happen due to government regulations. Third one is resetting strategy, like how you are evaluating your short-term liquidity, how you are accessing finance and operational risk, how you are considering alternate supply chain options, how you are determining how crisis will affect your budgets and business plans, how you're monitoring your domestic and foreign government initiatives of support, and how to build the resilience. You have to execute revised strategy. Now I'm saying you have to revise your strategy because that has to be in line with the situation of this pandemic activities and plus the government regulation, international regulations. You have to review your BCPs, business continuity plans, how you are continuing or continue or sustaining your business. You have to make decisions and take actions during the crisis. You have to reset your business assumptions, and you have to again reevaluate, recalibrate how to see, how to leverage the opportunities that China or in developing countries or other countries offering. Now, this slide is the global scenario again, where I have told you earlier that India and China are more optimistic. US is optimistic than European countries, but they cannot be optimistic at level of India and China. There is one survey being done, and you will find that optimistic is shown in blue. And if you see the blue, India is 56, the highest, second is China 53, and lowest is Japan. And if you see pessimistic, Japanese are very pessimistic now. So it can be a very good chance for India and China, not China basically, for India and some countries like South Africa or some countries of ASEAN to move their business to this particular demographic area. Because why optimistic? People are saying that we will be rebounding within 2-3 months and will grow as stronger. Already, I think IMF has told that we will be going for 9.1% next fiscal year. So unsure, India is lesser unsure than the highest unsure. If you see is Brazil, they are not sure whether it will be pessimistic or will be optimistic. They are in between. Now, this slide is showing how this is impacting the spends. Now, how the behavior of the consumers are changing. So, if you see that the reduction is shown in black, and gray is shown reduction up to 4% to 109%. The highest reduction, if you see, it is coming into finished goods, then again IT hardware, somewhere like banking and insurance. So these will be reduced to a very to an extent of 4 to 10%. The highest one will be that is beyond 25% is black, where you'll see the highest is vehicles. So automobile sector is affecting, you are also knowing. You are also affecting is processing supplies, distribution, transport, finished goods, like e-commerce is badly affected. Then specialty includes capital equipments, that's why I told you, capital expenses. So that way, if you see the sector which has increased considerably is 4% is banking and insurance. But obviously, insurance is required for this position of health insurance and all this insurance due to these health issues. So that 4% is banking insurance, rest all are in 3 somehow, but the growth is more likely to dip than to change to the upper side in this complete this particular up to December 2020. No such good news is seen in this particular chart. Now, what is the economic scenario model? If you see the India model, this is specific for India model. In scenario 1, there are actually 3 scenarios being shown. One is April 15, 2020, or 21-day deadline. Second one is mid of May 2020. And third is basically the 2-3 weeks lockdown in Q2 and Q4, 2021 because of virus resurgence. So scenario 3, if you see, it is upgoing. It is going up. Only concern is low labor availability because of immigrations and there's limited reverse migration happening. So that's why I'm saying very good opportunity for our Assam and Northeast to consider this skill which has already migrated, and they won't get reversed very immediately, very soon. And one more thing positive is that there is a stabilization and stimulus package given by the government, which is broader in scenario 2. So obviously more packages will come in scenario 4 also. This is the study made by McKinsey and Company, and they have made this to understand the probable economic outcomes and possible interventions with 600 leaders of India, including senior economists, financial experts, and policymakers in 100 companies across multiple sectors. And there are 3 economic scenarios has been discussed. Approximately, if you see the India GDP growth over financial year 2021, if you see scenario 3 is dipping to 8 to 10%. In scenario 1, it was just at 2% only. But again, it is rebounding back in coming quarter because of this stabilization and stimulus packages which will be coming into picture very rapidly. We have seen every day some new schemes are coming up. One is this for sector-wise again. This is for India economic scenario model sector-wise. If you see the drop, the output change. If you see the minus is mostly the airlines and hotels, auto industries, constructions, textile, freight, but least impacted are telecommunication because of the essential service. Pharmaceutical obviously is essential service. IT service will be there. Agriculture has gone deep because of lack of market, lack of keeping the finished goods, and then slowly if you see from top from down to up, so most affected are first four. So that way the employment also have dipping. So potential economic loss will vary by the sector. Mostly the current quarter output drops is large in sectors like aviation and lowest in the sector like IT and naval services and pharmaceuticals. There are three possible scenarios as per the PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Two scenarios like financial year 2021 and financial year 21-22. All quarters are there, quarter 1 to 4 and 1 to 4 for both the financial year. Now again, three things: optimistic, realistic, pessimistic. So India is optimistic, as I've shown you earlier. Highest India is optimistic in globally, and China is second. So if you see the optimistic parlance, you can see the rapid recovery will be happening in 2021 quarter 3. Pessimistically, prolonged recovery will be happening in 2022. It may go up to 2022. So if you see, they are not asking, they are not saying anything on the optimistic side because we know that we are optimistic. So obviously we'll be in the optimistic zone. But still, they have discussed something on realistic parlance. Why realistic? Why there will be delayed recovery? The pay cuts and temporary job loss. I have told you, 13 crore people have lost their job. Poor consumer sentiments are there. There were deferred capital expenses like buying houses, buying vehicles, buying all these things which are costlier or not required at this moment. And if you see the pessimistic side, then obviously job loss again is one of the most factor because people are not having money. Their buying power has gone low, and the formal sector which are there have to rejuvenate. Re-employment will take a lot of time because the sectors cannot absorb those people who has migrated, maybe skilled, unskilled or high skilled. And government fiscal policy also will take time to show results because people are yet to understand what are the fiscal policies defined by the government because all are not economists, so they have to find out. And all the institutions which are with the government for deploying these are also not understanding. Like if you go to any bank and ask for loan for Atmanirbhar, first thing they will tell you that we don't have got any office order or any circular from the government or the ministry. Now, COVID-19 involves multiple variables in highly volatile multiple variables. I told you multiple variables are there which are very highly volatile. So in four categories they have decided which are impacting society, business, and economy. The first one is epidemiological forecast. This epidemiological forecast means we don't know when the vaccine will come and how much whether it will go to community spread or how to save the people. So there is the forecast is still these are the variable, but they are very highly volatile values, and it is again finding scarcity of real-time data. Second is there are lots of disruptions going on supply chains and economic ecosystems. I already discussed how to contain COVID-19. It also requires key behavioral changes among the consumers, among the service providers, among the companies, among the people, as an individual also, and how this economic recovery will be influencing by the nature and level of government interventions. So Indian government, see the slides actually I'm not showing anything about what are the things being imputed by the government till date on tangible factors because you must be knowing I'm a government employee, so I cannot disclose some of the things. So I'm just showing what are the important things because these are very common to commonly shown in all platforms that they have announced a fiscal stimulus of around USD US dollar 222.6 billion, while the Reserve Bank of India has slashed the repo rate of by 75 basis points and also announced liquidity support of around 49.8 US dollar on aggregate basis. However, a far more assertive approach of obviously is required, because I told you, the government doesn't have the real-time data or realistic data or dependable data. Based on that assumptions, they are doing some of these things, but it will take time, like how much influence it will be doing in the society at large, and whether up to what quarter of financial fiscal year it will be impacting us. But still, we are optimistic. Now, just I have gathered after doing this analysis for this particular presentation, I found that these 10-point programs are being pronounced everywhere. This 10-point program is first is how to strengthen the safety net. And the safety net means it is a people safety. And how to enable the survival of small and medium business, obviously, because you must be knowing that micro MSME, they are contributing around more than 40% to our GDP. So they are now distressed, they are collapsing. So how to survive them, how to restart our rural economy, because our people have migrated to their home place. So now what will be doing there, because whatever they are doing outside the home state, maybe that sector or maybe that service is not available in the home state. So we have to restart the rural economy in differently, basically, like cluster formations. Then we can be using some technologies to produce locally so that we can also give service globally. And we have to provide targeted assistance to rich sectors. I've told you, so 4 rich sectors are the aviation, hospitality, then you can go say automobiles, automotives. And how to now is the right time to launch Make in India 2, because already Prime Minister has launched this Make in India very active policy, Make in India policy earlier, but we have never apprehended or never thought of that this situation will crop up. So now a new platform, reassess platform, Make in India 2 should be there to capture the global opportunities. How to accelerate digital India innovations, because now I told you everything is digitized, they have to be digitized. How to debottleneck land and river, so the labor laws, land laws have to reassess, and you have to transform the banking financial sectors. And new metrics which will be said globally by all leading economists is we should have the debt to GDP ratio instead of fiscal deficit. So now you should be understanding our reassessing our whole thing, not only fiscal deficit, but how we can go for the debt to GDP ratio. Now, here, what I'm saying is about the digitization, like how to accelerate your digital ambitions and analytical engines, what I told you earlier also, like controlling towers. Now, e-commerce is already proving its importance now, and we're likely to retain it through recovery. For B2B customers, like business to business customers, the use of digital channels while ordering from suppliers and increased to importance from 19 to 20. So when ordering from suppliers, you can see the graph. If you see the graph using a supplier website and using my company C4.4 portal using a mobile app, you can see the blue one. Okay. So year-to-year change is 0 in the first case, and in black is 2019, and 2020 it is blue. So if you see the digitally directed and traditionally directed, the growth is happening more on digitally directed compared to the traditional directed. It is dipping. And if you see the traditional self-service, your year-to-year change, if you see, it is not changing at this moment. But these are the things we need to capitulate that. Your digitization for we are doing webinars, so we are going for the digitization of our learning process. So that way it has to be adaptable, and it's now it's obviously going people adopting it. Though it is painful for someone to adopt this technology in a very short period or short term. So this particular slide is showing that how digital ambition, if it is being accelerated with using some analytical engines, it can capture the mood of the behavioral changes happening among the consumers, among the service providers, in a, I think, more or less near to real-time basis. This is a slide, very exhaustive slide. I'm just showing it to you, some of the strategies, how to set the strategies, like leaders need 5 points. One is the startup resilient mindset. They have to be very, the mindset should be startup point now. they should be human-centered with the responses and interactions. Again, saying they should accelerate digitization. They should have a purpose-driven customer playbook and ecosystem to drive resilience. So these are the five things which is commonly being asked, and it is being perceived also that leaders need this. These five things to cope with the situations as an institution, as an individual, both. So for this, you have to navigate, you have to plan, and you have to lead. Obviously, you have to navigate first how to do it, you have to plan, like you know how to do it, and now you have to plan like how to execute it, and that way you have to continue your activity to accelerate your business models. So I think it is very exhaustive to read all these points. If I can just stop here for some time, you can just go through it to understand uh, the point wise. Like what are the things which is cropping every time, which is being repeatedly being shown in some of the boxes. Like one word I'm saying redesign, everywhere you can say redesign, reskilling, okay, aligning. So these are some of the keywords. Now powering up your innovation engine means you have to be innovative, and most important thing is like you have to identify opportunities for acquisitions, to outsourcing, to partnership, which I told you some of the global universities are partnering now. Now, these slides is showing for recovery, how to go for a rapid revenue recovery. The 3 steps they have decided that they have designed, and the steps are basically taken to core set of commercial actions, like one strategy. What strategy you should be thinking of, like brand repositioning. Obviously, you should have to reposition your brand now. You can go for merger acquisitions. You have to have a network ecosystem, like through electronically you are networking with other students, other resources. You can have a clean sheet demand planning. Regarding digital channels, you have to scale your digital sales and services. You have to use e-commerce. You have to go for digital marketing effectiveness. And regarding productivity, obviously your marketing, sales, efficiency, productivity, your inside sales. And most important thing is data-driven performance management, how much you are assessing and performing, real-time analysis. And customer experience and insight is very important now because all behavioral changes is changing in line with the situations, which is totally unexpected. One is what customer is experiencing, what is the customer journey with you, your personalization, your loyalty, your CRM, this customer relationship management, what value your product is proposing, what are the analytical driven sales you are doing for contactless operations with the customers, what should be your dynamic pricing, your discounting system and promotional activities for optimizing your services without putting this distancing mode, not in close touch with the customers. Now, this is one of the prioritized measures we can go for, like short-term and high-impact moves. Leading organizations are using analytical advanced models with multiple source of insights, like point of sale data, primary consumer research, social listening, online search trend to forecast your growth scenarios at granular level. Like what are the structural shift happening? You are repositioning your brand. You are doing M&A activities, merger acquisition moves now. You're going for, which I already decided in the earlier slide, customer expectations and experience safety also, and scaling your digital sales and service, which will be impacting in what way? Like will be impacting some short term, your pricing and promotion modules will change, your e-commerce adoption will increase, you will be going more for analytics for your sales or your operations. Then your data-driven performance management will come into picture, and you will be assessing a real-time basis your demands, how planning should be made for your demands, which is changing. Your graph is changing. The demand earlier is not the demand which is being prevalent now. This slide is just an addition to this. What is the essence of any resilient leader? Now I've discussed all these things. Suppose these things are taken into account, and leader is resilient now. He is a business resilient leader for recovery from COVID. One is physical, one is emotional, one is digital, one is financial. In physical, you have to trust the physical space is safe. This is the first thing in your operation, your working environment, your home. You should ensure that you are safe. Secondly, you should be emotionally trust that your emotions and societal needs are being safeguarded. Means your EQ and SQ are safeguarded. You should be digitized now. You will be using more digitization, like trusting that your information is secure, not being hacked, not being disturbed by any third parties. And financially, that your financial concerns are being served. Means your individual financial concerns, your institution concern, your society concern, your concerns are being served by the government or by the society, something like. So these questions are being considered for the resilient leaders, like which dimension matter most. So here I am saying, I'm requesting that all students, all the faculty members, all the management people, and society also. The first thing, that which dimensions is mattering you most among these four? Which dimension is mattering you most? Are we communicating our intentions clearly and transparently, because time is less? That's why you have to be very clear and transparent to your stakeholders. Otherwise, you will lose your stakeholders. You will lose your value chains. Can we competently deliver what we have committed or promised? Are we monitoring and measuring our progress in addressing stakeholders? See, your stakeholders now is not only your customers. Your stakeholders, your society, your people, people outside your organizations, like your citizens which are residing in your area. So you have to monitor and measure your progress so that you are impacting positively in all four IQs. Now the six key macro outcomes which can happen if you these outcomes are basically, or the outcomes we are discussing for delivery is you want to recover, you want to grow your revenue. You are intended, obviously you are intended as a professional to increase your margins and profitability. You have to optimize your assets, liabilities, and liquidity. You have to accelerate digital transformation. You have to support the workforce for the safety and operating structure. You have to manage stakeholders' expectations. So these are the outcomes you, everyone, every people, every service providers or every professionals is working on these. Because the six outcomes. It depends on the level of importance of these outcomes, but all six outcomes will come into picture. It's coming into picture. If you describe, like a description is also there, like if I say, what do you mean by recover and grow revenue? It means you have to recapture your revenue, you have to expand into new organic opportunities for top line growth and customer experience, profit margins. So the questions are there. See, I told you, when you plan something before execution, you have to ask yourself 5 whys we are like used to understand. So to ask your questions, the 4 questions you need to have, whether you are compatible at this moment to take this outcome, or consider this outcome in your portfolio. Like in first one, if you say, should we engage the customers for acquisition maintenance? Is it required or not? If not, no issue, but these questions should come up. What are the customer behavior changes are happening? Whether this is temporary or whether it's permanent. In second one, should we manage for profit or we should manage for resilience? It is up to you now. So whether you want a profit, whether you want a resilience, whether you want to go for long run, whether you want to go for short term. Should you operate for cash and profit only? How can we move faster? I'm telling you, we can move faster, but how come? How can we move? What pace? At what requirement? These are my requirements. Can this technology or digitization can help me to reach my decisions, to make my decisions on real-time basis or near real-time basis, or it is something which I cannot say or which I don't believe that this data can help me to move faster. Because people will say go for digital transformation doesn't mean that I have to go for digital transformation, because already you are in the mode of digital transformation, because digital transformation is part of business transformation model. It's happening every time, not because of COVID. All companies, all institutions are day by day, they are changing their business processes, business models, so that that's the reason the institutions are coming up with a good framework and much adaptability to the society. And one more question, like how the social contract with the workers has changed. Now see, people are not there. They moved to the home place. So whatever is available with you, now what type of contract you should have with these people? Because now you're having more of your own people. So do we have the right operating structures in your place? If not, please make it now, because it has to be in line with the changing situation, economic situation, or you can say political situation, or any social situations. And finally, what is the social and institutional expectations? How it is changing? That we have to cope with this, because if social expectations are changing, and if you're not changing, then it will be coming to distress zone. And the last slide, actually, just before closing, as already principal has told, that I have written on book called Limits to Infinity on Psychology. In philosophy. More or less, this philosophy and science. This book I'm just showing it to you, just for your. It's available in all this Amazon, Flipkart, Shopclues, Paytm. So this book is basically also I'm speaking the same thing. Our social expectations are changing because our thought process is changing, and it is a never-ending process. Like once very rightly said, you all know that everything is permanent except change. Change is not permanent. So with this, all my inputs, whatever I can deliver to you. I don't know how much it helped you, or how much it helped you understand. But this I tried to make it more graphical, so that you can see some of the charts and graphs, and obviously you're already in this field. Uh, Based on that, I have made this, and it depends on you. If you have any better idea, I welcome those. And with this, I again am very much grateful to Principal Sir, Kaliabor College Management, and all students, participants for their patience hearing from me. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Ready there, sir.
Yes. Hello, Pranjal Phukan sir. Hello, Phukan sir.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I will. Yes, sir.
Yes. There are a few questions. One question was from Mr. Sanjeev Das. He is a PhD scholar and also a farmer.
Okay.
His question is, due to lockdown and lack of scientific warehousing system, farmers have suffered a lot. So how can they recover their losses? It was asked by Mr. Sanjeev Das.
Yes, this is very relevant questions in other sectors also. Like I've told you, we never thought of this situation earlier. It came very suddenly, and it is the lack of our preparedness, we can say. We have lots of schemes by the government for this cold chain storages. Policies are there, but maybe people were slow in thinking, implementing that what will happen, it will happen someday. Now this situation has shown that if you are very slow, we are slow in implementation. No, if you are slow, see how our finished goods products are has gone lost. I mean, they are damaged in such a bad way, which I've shown in the earlier graph. Also, the agriculture sector is also getting affected because people behaviors expectations have changed. Now now purchase and procurement and supply is happening very locally. It is because now due to lack of transportations, lack of storage facility. One thing, see, in this moment, this is the moment for the entrepreneurs and youths to learn something from the past and from the situation, that lots of government schemes and policies are there. If you have the good idea, then lots of funding facilities are also there. Like I used to do some startup mentoring with some of the incubation centers pan India, where I am speaking only one thing: while making your ideations, think of the policies which are made by the government, and we have never thought of the sectors like cold chain and storage system is the most important things now, not only for the agriculture, for the medicines also. Like for transporting medicines, the government is using, I think you know, that they're using aircraft, because in locally we don't have that storage facilities to distribute the medicines on right time, or on very real time, or very quick time. So it is very questions known by everyone. loss is there because of we have lack of storage. The only thing the government at this moment cannot, I think, think much on this because they have to go for the economic recovery at the faster pace. So these are sectors open for entrepreneurs of this particular region that they can start working on this with the lesser investments, so that at least they can save their regional products or regional finished products of the or the agricultural products at the particular place for some longer time and serve the local people. I'm not saying you serve Bangladesh or Nepal, you serve your own people because we are starving for those products because due to lack of logistics, things are not coming or cannot move at this moment.
Then there was another question from Ms. Prathana Bora. She is an M.Ed student in Guwahati University. She wants to know about the job opportunities in the post-pandemic situation.
I have made one webinar that day with ICT Academy 2 times, and third one is again coming on 20th of this month, where where my subject is expectation of the industry from the people who will be coming to join them. Industry doesn't mean that only industry. Industry means institution also. See, at this moment, it is very clear and loud that nothing can be predicted at this time. What is going to happen post-pandemic? Post-pandemic, I don't know how much time it will be lasting. But as for for your case, I think you'll be going for some faculty position. For faculty position, only dramatic change is happening. Is going to happen is happening also that you have to be techno savvy now. You have to be techno savvy, like how to handle your activities, your study activities, research activities with the help of technology. So you can be in touch with your students, you can be in touch with your faculties, you can be in touch with your management, and as you are working from home, a very big challenge is there that you have to manage your quotients, your what quotients, spiritual and people quotients. That is the only thing I need. The best skills available is required at this moment. I don't want people with like a gold medalist or any industry, gold medalist, silver medalist or something, because they want people who are really people mattering to people. How I am attached to the people. Means I have not only to serve my industry, I have to serve my people, because that is the ultimate need of the hour. People are getting depressed. People are getting really getting depressed. So how to students are getting depressed. You must knowing that for the last 3 months, so students are staying at home. No schools are being open. So now this is the big thing for the teachers and the big thing for the parents also. So that is the big role, and this is the skill which is required now. Your human intervention, human skills have to upskill for any domains to keep in touch with your people, staying away, staying in the distance mode, and obviously using one parameter in between you and the people, that is digitization. That is totally non-human, I can say, because it is a machine. So you have to how you can much better interface with the human, machines and human. So that is a skill I think required for all students, all professionals, that they have to change their mindset how to interact with machines, but you are interacting with human beings. Like I'm interacting with you, but in between you and me, one machine is there. So I have to understand your emotions. I have to understand, because you might be saying that how can I understand your emotion because I'm so far off from you. No, but you have to. That is the need of the hour.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Then one participant, Mr. Gaurav Sharma, he wants to know about the foreign direct investment in this situation, FDI.
FDI, yes. See, FDI, foreign direct investment, is a part of your expansion of your portfolio. But foreign direct investment also is a problem now, because when foreign direct investment is happening in particular, suppose in India, so you cannot employ your people, means their people here due to the COVID situations. So first thing, if government opens the gate also, the first question comes to the mind is that if I invest there, I have to work with the people of the particular region. So whether the aptitude, whether their passion, their likings, their social structure is in line with my business objectives. So in that way, FDI investment will be not going down, but it will be in, I think, a linear mode for some time, because they also need to understand, because here I told you earlier also that you have to very real-time assessment of your outgo and income. So if they go for the outgo, then whether they can maintain their brand, they maintain their quality, maintain their official organizational policies. So that way, I think the best time for now is to go local. Locally, see, you will see in the coming few months, you will see many companies will come locally now, because they have all that technology or they have all the resources. Now they have to think from bottom to up. They have to think locally, but they have to act. They have to basically act locally, but they have to think globally. It should be in a reverse position now. Now FDI is not a very lucrative thing in the economics at the moment due to this situation, because they requires many things, many objectives. We need to be a total realignment and reassessment with the new stars. Because I told you also that there is a lack of quantifiable data which can be relied upon because of its complexity.
Thank you, sir. Then one last question from a participant. He has not mentioned his name. He is one Redmi user. He has highlighted a different aspect of COVID-19, that a new product line business have oriented. Just like business of production of masks, PPE kits, ventilator, etc., and also the health insurance sector. Some new product line, there are scope for.
Yes. This is the, see, as I told you, the situation is changing. It is a very dynamic situation. Now, first thing, when the COVID was being detected and declared as a global emergency, then first thing came out is how is the safety of the people. Now, how to keep people safe, because there is no vaccine, so there's social distancing, but we cannot be a social distancing for long, so we have to move to market. So to save between that infected and not infected person is that barrier, which is maybe the masks, hand gloves, sanitizers, and all these things. But one thing it is predicted here, that unfortunately for the generation which is coming up, I think they might have to wear this mask for their life, which we are fortunate that we didn't have that that thing with us. Now we are actually finding it very difficult to maintain this mask on our face, on our mouth or nose. But this younger generation will have to adapt to this. So this cannot be said as a permanent situations, but it depends on the society and culture whether they will continue or not. And one more thing, this has shown one thing, that how things have come down, how new product line has come up. So I cannot say this moment, neither anyone, that what will the next line may be cropping up tomorrow. Like I told, the cold chain is a chain already, is a sector already, but now it is immediate necessity. Mask is immediate necessity. So something will come up in future also, which may be a turnaround for any organization or any sector. Otherwise, why I have told you, why these S&P 500 companies out of that 210 and distress zone? Because they failed to adapt to this new line or new expected lines. So how to go for it is also a big question for the economists, for the commerce, based on the data, based on the analytics, future forecasting. They can find out what, like I don't know, education system also might go for some different parlance, different normals. New normals might be going for all education systems. There won't be any traditional education system like giving only going for the graduation and post-graduation. They will do some other things also, because they have to save their business. They have to save the sentiments of the people. They have to adhere to the requirements of the society, because they're expecting something from you. Like they're expecting from the doctors, they're expecting from the educationists also. They're expecting from the society. Society is expecting. They will get something fruitful from this particular from one particular sector or particular services.
Thank you, sir. So now we have arrived at the last phase of today's program, that is the vote of thanks. Before I conclude, Virender, can we go to Principal Sir once again?
Yes, sir. Sure. Sir, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes. So I really very grateful to Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan for delivering such a nice lecture. informative and so good one. He's a very distinguished worker and a distinguished educationist. I also express my thanks to Redip Das, the coordinator of the webinar, and also Dr. Birender Pal and Dr. Dilip Kumar Sonowal for giving assistance to Redip Das and to Arun Bishwas also. And to all participants, I express my thanks for participating in this webinar. And I hope that in future also, we will get cooperation of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So, on behalf of the PG Department of Commerce, first of all, I express my thankfulness and gratitude to Dr. Pranjal Kumar Phukan for a very useful and relevant talk on the topic. We hope our participants will have a better knowledge on the issue after attending the webinar. I am also very much thankful to our principal, sir, Dr. Virendra Kumar Solia, sir, for encouraging and helping us in organizing the webinar. I am also thankful to my friends and fellow colleagues, Rajnish Sharma, Dr. Sanjeev Hazarika, Dr. Pauline Hazarika, Dr. Dilip Kumar Sonowal, Dr. Haraganta Nath, Dr. Dhrubajyoti Bora, Devajyoti Sarkar, our computer technician Arun Bishwas, and especially Dr. Birender Pal for playing the role of host in the entire program. Last but not the least, I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to all the participants for their pleasant hearing and active participation in the program. So once again, thanks to all and good night. Over to Virender.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I will unmute to everyone for 30 seconds and then I will close the meeting.
Yeah,